The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
Welcome to the Falls Forward Podcast. I am your host, Councilwoman Bridget Miles. This podcast will be about what goes on inside city government. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in for episode number 2. I am truly honored and blessed to have DPW Director Kenny Tompkins. And Kenny was actually my boss. I sat in the seat as City Council Secretary. He was one of my bosses. He is now the director, so he's been able to see all perspectives. So I'm truly, truly blessed to have you here today. Thank you for taking time out. And we will start with just an overview of the Department of Public Works.
First, thanks for having me, Bridget. I'm glad you're in the seat that you're in.
Thank you.
I think the people are in for a hardworking person.
Thank you.
DPW is pretty much does just about touches everything in the city but what police and fire do, and we actually touch with them because we work on their vehicles. Although the fire department have their own mechanics, but we work on their buildings, the fire halls, etc. So we kind of have city DPW broken down. There's a forestry department, there's a parks department, there's a trades department, there's clean neighborhood department, there's the parking department, there's automotive, the streets department. Them are the main departments that are then broken down from there. If we start, I guess we'll start with forestry because that's always a big concern. Mm-hmm. Forestry should be 7 people is what we have. Right now we have 4. Okay, it's hard to get people. It's a hard job to do, and you got to be not afraid of heights. You're working with some power tools and stuff like that.
Right.
But forestry right now is dealing with approximately 2,000 dead trees with the ash borer virus and different trees that have aged out. The trees have a life, and the city is now getting old enough that the silver maples are starting to die off. Mm-hmm. And again, it wasn't smart to have a 2-foot margin and plant a 3-foot tree. Eventually that was going to come. He also figures, talking to the forester, that we have probably about 2,500 trees beyond that need attention, that need to be trimmed or taken down, that, there's a problem with them. We have to deal with planting of new trees. We have to deal with any kind of storm issues. We deal with, the stumps that are going down on the ground. When we're doing paving or sidewalks, we have to go and take the trees down, clear the stumps, take the trees down high so the paver can go down the street without the guys hitting their heads on the trees. So forestry is one of the busiest divisions that's going. And the trees, everyone talks about, how do you know what trees you do? We know where the dead trees are for the most part. But what happens to us is that you get a storm, you get a windstorm, you get a heavy rainstorm, a branch falls, a big branch falls, a limb, a branch, a tree. That just changes everything. You now have to go take care of the immediate danger. So a lot of times what you'll see us do is, as you go down the road, you'll see the very top of the tree taken off, the branches, so to speak.
Yes.
The reason we do that and leave the stump up in the air, the branches are the hazard. The branches are what's going to fall in the windstorm and stuff. Okay. So if you get rid of the branches, the trunk is unsightly and stuff like that, but we're moving from that tree that has now been made safe to the next tree to make it safe. Okay. So we try and come back and take down the 15-foot. We are terrible on stumps and getting the stumps down, but stump is the least dangerous thing that we have. Okay. You know what I mean? The stump isn't going to fall.
Right.
It's not going to land on somebody. It's not going to hurt property. It's unsightly, but it's not a hazard. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's what we do. So forestry keeps pretty busy for a 4-man crew. You know what I mean? And then you think, you only work so many days, you have holidays, so they're pretty busy. They try to do 1 to 2 trees a day, but sometimes there's really big trees, and it takes 2-3 days to do a monster of a tree. Wow. So it's kind of interesting to watch how they go. Mm-hmm. The parks department. There's 33 parks. There's 25 green spaces in the city that they're responsible for. Now some parks are very small. Mm-hmm. Garden Avenue Pocket Park's a very small park, but then you have Hyde Park, second largest municipal park in New York State. Wow. Yeah, people don't realize how big the Hyde Park truly is. Mm-hmm. So you're always out there doing something. You're taking care of the buildings. You're taking care of the garbage. You're cutting the grass. The picnic tables get destroyed. The shelters, a lot of graffiti, a lot of stuff that goes on that you're constantly taking care of it. What people don't understand is they'll say, the grass is getting high in the springtime and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Our lawnmowers aren't the lawnmowers you use at home. Our lawnmowers are very heavy. Mm-hmm. They're commercial lawnmowers. So in the springtime, sometimes you can't get out in the park right away because the ground's so soft. And you're just digging, you're creating more work because the ground's getting low. But then the grass is getting high. And then when you cut the grass, when you can get out there, you got a hayfield. So we're aware of it, but it's a very tricky thing to try and do. We're out there, we try and do the best we can. When we do get hayfields, we try to rake it up, but usually at that point in time, we're playing catch up for a few weeks, and then we're able to do it. Our guys work. Usually they'll do 2 shifts through the summertime, so they're always out there.
Are you fully staffed in parks?
Parks, yes, we're
Okay.
pretty much fully staffed.
Okay.
There's always a shortage, 1 or 2 people, but no, we're pretty much fully staffed out
Okay,
there.
good.
What people don't understand is that the parks in the wintertime is also, people always complain like the Duke Center's being plowed. They call it the baseball stadium, but they don't realize it's a senior center, which is also a warming shelter. If we have an emergency, you got to have a warming shelter. The golf course. Well, the golf course also has a restaurant there that's open all year round. But these are city lots, the parking lots downtown. The Parks Department takes care of city building lots. They do not plow the streets. So their crew is doing their stuff, where the city streets crew is plowing their stuff. They don't overlap. The guy that's plowing the Duke Center can't go out and plow Woodlawn Avenue. It's 2 different departments, 2 different issues that you do, and you can't cross departments. There's union rules that they have to follow.
Yes.
So when people are complaining, there's snow all over, but they're doing that, it's 2 different groups of people, 2 separate job entities that are doing what they're doing. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. The Parks Department also takes care of garbage that's put like down Pine Avenue and stuff like that.
Yes.
We sometimes have to do it. Casella's supposed to do it, but sometimes if we see something overflow, our guys stop and they pick it up and they work on that. They're really responsible for dealing with everything in all the parks. We get vandalism, stuff like that. They have to go work with trades to get it repaired, get stuff back up and running. If the vandalism's really bad, we have to get over there and clean it up because we don't want, dirty graffiti and stuff like that out there. So we're trying to figure out what we can do to that. They're also the eyes for the city. They go to the different parks, when they go out in the morning, they'll find out, this park was broken into. This park was sprayed graffiti. So they're very, very busy. The Parks Department is definitely one of the busiest departments. They also handle the tourist area downtown.
Okay.
So they're responsible for taking care of all the streets and the shrubbery and the stuff that's down there, which, again, is the first thing that people see downtown. So, you want to have a diligent staff on that as far as that goes.
Right.
Trades. We have a trades department. It consists of, we have electricians, we have carpenters, we have brick mason, we have a painter, we have a plumber. They're all on staff. These gentlemen here, they handle the repairs of 69 different buildings. In anything else that happens, that somebody breaks a park bench, that's kind of what the trades do. They come in, they take it off, they have to reset, maybe pour new concrete, something like that. They deal with that.
Okay.
Shared stuff for like the bocce courts. Some of the bocce repairs is the Parks Department. Some of the bocce repairs is the trade units, depending on what needs to be. It's just new stone, it's the Parks guys. But if it's new wood and stuff like that, it's the Trades Department. So they're very busy. They take care of the ice rink, which is always, always attached. They take care of all the city hall buildings, the Main Street, the Carnegie, the library. In some of these buildings, they're 50 to 100 years old. It takes a lot of work, and they're not the easiest ones to work on because of the construction style of them.
Right.
They're just old and thick and got old stuff in them, so it takes a lot of work. We have a clean neighborhood department. Clean neighborhood is probably one of the busiest departments. Clean neighborhood is the group of people that you see out cutting the high grass.
Is that the same thing as impact team?
Clean neighborhood, impact team, sweet team. It's been
Same
called
thing.
many things,
Okay.
but it's clean neighborhood.
Okay.
So basically what we have is an inspector that goes out and she looks for high grass complaints, dump garbage, stuff like that. What she does is she goes out and she tags out. She takes pictures. She puts a yellow vinyl tag on the house that says you have 96 hours to bring your property up to code. A letter is also mailed out. It goes to the address, and if the homeowner is different, out of town, he also gets a letter, or he or she also gets a letter.
Okay.
So that the letter's sent out, again, saying you have 96 hours. At the end of 96 hours, the clean team can then go out. They'll pull up on the job. They'll take pictures beforehand. They will do whatever needs, be it a garbage pickup, being a grass cutting, whatever. They take care of it. When they're done, they take another set of pictures. At that point in time, at the end of the day when they go in, they turn in a slip that says, we use this, we use that, we spent this long. That's then converted into a bill that is then sent to the homeowner to pay for that. The bill is stiff. I believe that it should be stiff because if you're not taking care of your property and we have to have workers to go and do what you should be doing for your property, I believe you should be penalized for it.
Yes.
You know, and I've had bills. We had one bill, believe this, $67,000.
Wow.
Yes, for somebody not taking care of their property. That's quite a bit of a bill, you know. Wow. And then, of course, they don't feel it's justified. Well, we shouldn't have to clean it. You should clean it.
Right.
You know, they'll call up and complain, well, it's illegal dumping. Secure the property. It's not up to us to secure your property.
Yes.
We try and do the best we can. The problem is there's so much of it that they can't keep up. They can't keep up. So sad to say, we give them 96 hours. Usually they have a week or two because we just can't get back there fast enough. So we're working on that all the time. Even right now in the wintertime, they're out there working, taking garbage. Someone says, well, the garbage is all in the snow. You'd be amazed at how much is on top of the snow.
Oh, okay.
And there's also some things are done instantly because if you're blocking the sidewalk or it's in the street, you're blocking safety right away. We can go in there and without notice pick it up and send you a bill.
Okay.
So that's something that's a clean neighborhood. She also has a little bit on the garbage totes. They take care of the recycling totes.
Okay.
So when you call on that, now we have a gentleman that does the recycling totes. He's there 1 to 2 days a week. So if you call, he's usually there Wednesday, Thursday. So if you call Thursday, you're not going to see him till at least next Wednesday, and it depends on how we get. Since we don't have the garbage totes anymore, it's much easier because Casella takes care of that. It was probably 5 garbage totes to 1 recycle tote. You know what I mean? So now this gentleman, he's great, a retired gentleman that goes in there and he really knocks the heck out of it during the day and takes care of everything. So we're doing pretty good as far as that goes. I'm glad that Casella has the garbage totes now. Really, the complaints were crazy. So that's what Clean Neighborhood does. Okay. Very important division of what we have.
Yes.
Parking. So parking, we have a small crew that takes care of the ramp downtown and the parking meters downtown. Okay. There's 3 lots. There's the ramp, and then there's give or take 40 meters throughout the city downtown. That's what they take care of. They're just making sure that they're operational, that they're functioning. They have to do stuff if there's events and stuff like that, and there's like discounted parking or something that they deal with it. The hotels pretty much use our parking areas. They have to deal with hotels and issues with the hotels and stuff like that. Again, front line with the tourists, so very important in what they do. Plus, parking is one of the best revenue generators that the city has. It's something that needs constant attention. It's probably one of the busiest things that DPW has to do, that myself and my deputy director have to deal with, because it's constant. It's 24/7, it's 365, it's constant. And again, you can't have somebody locked in and you can't have somebody not being able to get in. And that's a place that, believe it or not, there's a ton of vandalism. People like to drive through the arms.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We have people like to try and break in the meters. The meters are now cashless.
Well, a side note, I almost drove through the iron when they charged me $20. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, you do know about the city pass for $25.
Well, thank you. I didn't know that. I put
You were our assistant, I think, when we put it through.
Okay, when I forgot.
So there is something that you should know and that you should push this to your constituents,
Okay.
is that for $25 every year, you can get a parking pass that allows you to park in the ramp or at the lots with this little card for the whole year for $25.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a great deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you the meters, but it gives you the ramps and the lots.
Okay.
So, like I say, $25 a year. I think you go to the clerk's office, you bring a copy of your license and a copy of your registration.
Okay.
You get this little card pass that just waves in front of it and opens it up.
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
awesome.
No more $25.
I wish I had that because
You should have that. All the councils should have.
Yes.
I carry one myself.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I've had it since then. As a matter of fact, you'll like this one here. I was number 3. Andy Tuma was number 4. So, Andy had to be last, That will bother him. You do know that.
Yes.
So that's what we have with parking as far as downtown goes.
That's awesome.
So now automotive. Automotive is responsible for, it's probably close to 100 vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah. They deal, well, it's probably more than that. I'm not even thinking about the police vehicles. But they deal with everything. Police cars, dump trucks, rollers, pavers, compressors, anything that has a motor of any kind, the weed whackers, the lawnmowers, the snow blowers. I mean, that is one busy department. They're attached. They have a couple of welders that work with them. The welders are always cobbing something up, fixing this with the weld. The welders pretty much take care of the plow blades in the wintertime, which is they're in there working almost all the time, trying to put new blades on, fixing what gets broken, because you got to keep the plows up and running.
Right.
The salters. I mean, what the automotive does is pretty intense. I mean, they're all over. Something breaks down, they have to go out and tow it. If I have to have something moved to a job site like the pavement site, they're the ones that move it. I mean, it's a very busy department that it could use some help down there. We're short like 3 mechanics in the back right there. But it's a tough job. I mean, it's, you're working with some big heavy-duty equipment, stuff like that. They work on the loaders. I mean, they have to be so well-versed. They have to be able to work on, a lawnmower and go all the way up to a giant loader or a paving machine that, is so specialized, it's not funny. We have bucket trucks. We have all kinds of different stuff that they have to do. Street sweepers. It's not your normal stuff that you're taking to, the Chevy dealer or something like that. So pretty impressive crew that has to put in a lot of hours, especially, again, our busiest time, of course, is wintertime because you're plowing. We are on shift in the wintertime 24/7. We are always on. There's always somebody working for the city except on a holiday.
Can you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Next department for you.
Okay.
Next department is streets department, where we're going.
Okay.
The streets department maintains the streets and the sidewalks.
Okay.
That's their primary goals. They're the plow drivers. They're the concrete crew. They're the paving crew. They're the pothole crew.
Okay.
If it's anything to do with the streets and the sidewalks, it's pretty much the streets department. So separate. Parks department takes care of the greenery and the buildings. The streets department pretty much is your sidewalks, is your streets, is your potholes.
Okay.
They are busy all the time. They are constantly busy. In the wintertime, we go on to what's called, we usually start in November, and we go to April. It's called shift. What we then do is we break it down. So I don't know the exact number, but say there's 40 people that works for the streets department. That 40 people will get broken down to 5 shifts. So that 40, the regular day shift, Monday through Friday, will probably have 5 people on, 3 drivers, 1 leader, and 1 loader operator.
Okay.
All right. The next shift may only have 4 people on, 2 drivers, 2 things. But every shift, all the way through, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, every shift, 24/7, there's crew on. Minimum of 2 plow drivers, 1 leader, and usually a loader operator because they have to put the salt in. Plus, the loader operators go out and plow the city streets. So there's never a time when there's not vehicles out there. So like now when we kind of have a lull, thank God, in the snow, they're out there. Yesterday they were cleaning streets up, going curb to curb, opening them up more. Today they're out there opening streets up, moving snow. Sometimes you have to bring dump trucks out and take the loader and fill the snow away from corners and bring it and park and dump it in one of our city parking lots. Places like that they want to remove the snow. So know that there's always multiple crews out 24/7. When we see a snowstorm coming or when we have a snowstorm coming, that's when we build up. The city is broken into 6 sections. Right? That's how the city is broken down into 6 sections. So for me, if it's a storm, but not a huge storm, I want at least 6 drivers in, so you have 1 in every section.
Okay.
So you always have somebody out. Plus you're still going to have a crew leader. Plus you're still going to have a loader operator. So the crew leader's usually driving around. They're going from spot to spot to spot saying, hey, so you got to go hit this area. It's drifting up really bad. So they're going here. But they usually have a pickup truck or a small dump truck, very small dump truck with a plow on it. So they're going to touch up corners and stuff like that. They're going to try and always be, doing a little cleanup. Some of the streets we use only can take a pickup truck down them, like the streets that have islands in the middle of them. When you have an island in the middle and a car on the side, you don't have a whole lot of room. So you can only do it with a pickup truck.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then when the cars are gone, if it's odd even parking, you try and get down there. But people don't know, we have like 233 miles of road.
Wow.
Now you think 233 miles of road, usually a plow has to go down that a minimum of 3 times, maybe 4 times. The hard part is when you have cars that park on both sides of the road. Plows are 10 to 12 foot wide, depending on the plow. That's, a normal car is 6.5 feet wide. So think, it's almost like 2 cars going down the road. So if you got cars parked on both sides of the road, you're not getting the big truck down there.
Right.
And that's what people say. You haven't plowed our road. Well, look at your road. If one neighbor parked wrong, we're not going to be able to get down that. Because when you look down the street, you got a car on this side and a car on that side, your plow's not going through. You're not going to start going down the street because what are you going to do? You can't get through. You got a giant snow pile in the middle of the street. You can't go either way. You know, it makes it very, very difficult. And people don't really understand that the cars are very important, that what the cars cause a lot of issues to what we do. What else we find out that causes a lot of issues when we snow plow is that people hired to have their driveways done with a private plow contractor. That plow contractor takes the snow out of your driveway. Where do they put it?
On city property?
They just drive down the street. Some people make a hill. Some people try and push it in theirs, but it usually always winds up part of it on city property.
Okay.
And when you get a snow like we have, where we just had like 2 weeks with no relenting, you had snow, then you had a few more inches,
Yes.
a few more, that pile gets bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger. We were on Spruce Avenue yesterday. There was a pile on Spruce Avenue that had to be easily 50 feet long, 10 feet high, and probably 8 feet out into the road. In the middle of the block from private contractors, probably doing multiple stuff. Kept pushing it, kept pushing. How's anyone supposed to get past that? You know what I mean? It takes up a whole one side of the lot. So we have to go in there yesterday and we took 15 dump trucks, 15 tandem dump trucks of snow out of that pile.
Wow.
Cleaning up that area.
Is there a way to partner with private contractors or some type of program?
Private contractors, there's rules that they should follow. I mean, there's no real partnering with, because most of these are pickup truck drivers. You know what I mean? And a pickup's really not going to plow a road well. You know, I mean, it's just too much snow. It's usually too long. That's why you usually see the tandem dump trucks out there. You know, we have a couple of what's called wing plows. They actually have a plow that comes off the side as well as in front. They work good for like Buffalo Avenue, High Park Boulevard, Niagara Falls Boulevard, you know, for the big wide streets.
Yes.
It does basically 2 passes in 1 pass. Wow. It's kind of nice to have, but that plow is also limited. It's not going down Grand Avenue. It's not going down 81st Street. It's too wide with the extra blade on the side. Though the blade goes up and down, it's still a little bit extra wide because, you know, the blade is sitting there.
Okay.
So the biggest thing we could say is that even the homeowner that you hired to plow people, tell them where to put the snow. Because they just think they get it away from your house. It's not my problem anymore. It's somebody else's. But it's the city's problem, because I have a private contractor does my street, a couple houses on my street. I see where he puts it. It's in the street. He takes it about a house away from where theirs are, and he angles it towards the curb, but it's out in the street. It doesn't go over the curb. It stays out in the street, and then the city plow has to do it. Well, if the city plow doesn't come down for a day, that ice is up, it's very hard for the city plow to even move it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a limit to what anything you do. If you hit it too hard, now you're causing damage to the plow, and then that truck's out of service for a little while. So people that shovel and throw the snow back into the street, take the snow blower and throw it in the street, throw it on your lawn. Don't throw it out in the street. That street's already plowed. Well, you know, people figure that stuff ices up and you get slick over there. That road may have already been plowed, so a plow's not coming back down that road for a while because it has to do the rest of the city. So you've just created a hazard. One of the biggest, we get some of the people in the commercials. I just actually had to go to one of the hotels on the boulevard. He's taking the snow from his parking lot, driving it into Niagara Falls Boulevard, and leaving it. And the cars coming up the boulevard are running into the snow. They're mushing it down, but that street was perfect. It was down to the pavement. It was beautiful, and now it's got huge piles of snow in it and people don't, why should I keep it on my property? It's your snow. It's your responsibility. It's not our snow. We got enough to deal with. We don't need to deal with that.
Right.
So that's what streets department. They are very busy in the wintertime, and in the summertime they're on normal shifts. They're the ones that are paving the streets. We're the ones that are going in.
Can you touch really quick, I'm sorry,
Sure.
on the priority as far as when we had that storm? Main
There's always the
streets.
same priorities.
Okay.
You have to do the main streets.
Main.
Your Niagara Falls Boulevard, your Pine Avenue, your Buffalo Avenue, your High Park Boulevard.
Yes.
Them are your mains. You get the mains done. If they haven't covered back up, because by the time you get the mains done, if it's a good storm, they may be getting snow on them again. You then go to the secondaries. Your secondaries are going to be like Ontario. Your truck routes going to be your like College Avenue. It's going to be 27th Street, 24th Street. It's going to be 77th Street, 72nd Street. You know what I mean? You get in there. Once those are done, and you don't have to go back to the mains because that snow continues to fall, then you start hitting the side streets.
Okay.
And again, the city's broken up into 6 sections, and in most sections, they're broken up into 2 or 3, and maybe like 6A, 6B, 6C.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we're going to send a driver, say, all right, go take care of 6A. And then the driver that comes in after him, all right, you take care of 6B. And then the third shift driver, you take care of 6C.
Okay.
So that they're constantly out there working. But what you always have to remember is that we have to go back at times because depending on what the snowfall is.
Right.
Because, again, the mains are always the most important. Because the mains are done, A, it's the most used traffic route, but for police, fire, ambulance,
Yes.
that they have to be open for that. Also schools. We always try and get where we can around the schools so that the schools can be open to go for buses and stuff like that. Gotta say, this year's been tough because we had so much snow that just kept coming and no melt. Nothing in it. You got to the point where if you were far from the curb, it got further and further from the curb. You know what I mean? But my guys did a lot of good job this year. I know people are always going to complain, and they're going to complain forever. It's never going to change. But we have a lot of crew. They worked a lot of hours, hardworking, overtime. A lot of overtime. People say, oh, they don't pay overtime. We paid a lot of overtime. I won't be surprised before the end of the year I'm coming to the council saying, give me some more money because we got to go all the way to December.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People don't realize that you have basically January to April. But then, like this year hurt us because we got hit hard in November. So you had November, December to deal with. That that was, of course, last year's money. But what if we get hit again in November, December this year?
Right.
We salt. We've used the tonnage of salt that we use. We're obligated for 5,000 ton a year. I think last year we were almost 8,000 that we used.
Okay.
This year here, there's again, as like last year, there was a big salt shortage. It's come out, there's another salt shortage. We're okay. We're not great, but we're okay. We have enough in our barn probably to do 3 big storms right now. We have 1,850 ton on order right now, so it's slowly coming in. As
Okay.
it comes in, it keeps building the barn back up. So we have salt, we have plows. It's one thing too, people say they only have 5 trucks. Clue you in. 22 dump trucks
Okay.
with salters.
Okay.
9 other dump trucks with nothing but plows.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we have. We have 4 loaders, the giant machines with the huge bucket on the front.
Yes.
We have 4 loaders out there. We actually have 2 backhoes if we need to use them. Okay, we have 1 Bobcat, the little machine to do that. We have a machine called a tool cat. Okay, it's kind of a cross between a Bobcat and a golf cart, but it has giant snow blowers on the front. You might have seen them.
Yes.
They're used downtown, the police station, down Main Street, stuff like that. That eats up, and that's what we do the sidewalks with. We do the hills, like Lockport Road Hill, 56th Street
Yes.
Hill. They do the hills. They do the library. They do, the big streets they do a lot of downtown area with that. We have 3 of them running at this point in time. So, I mean, there's stuff out there getting done. The pickup trucks, it's amazing, the pickup trucks that we have out there. What do we got going right now with the drivers? I broke down the list of drivers for us. Right now, for the big trucks, just what their job is to drive the plow truck, we have 11 drivers.
Okay.
Okay? We also have 8 other drivers in different departments, like forestry and stuff like that.
That can
If it's a snowstorm, they're probably not cutting a tree.
Right.
They're able to go out and plow.
Okay.
So we have 8 other drivers that are in different departments that can go out and plow. So we'll call in. First, we have to use the 11, and then if we need more, we can call in these 8. So that's 19 drivers that we have that we can bring in, when we have a big storm to rotate. A lot of them will do up to 16 hours. We'll never let them work more than 16 hours safe. They have to rest. And they're very good about what they're doing. We have 28 pickup truck drivers.
Okay.
Okay, and in the pickup size trucks, we probably have, if I was guessing, close to 15 trucks that we could take out at any given time, because the pickup trucks, the tool cats you would consider in that vein, because you don't have to have a special license for a tool cat. We have very small dump trucks with plows on the front. That could all be done by the regular pickup truck. You and I could drive a pickup truck, but of course we want someone that can be trained. You know what I mean? That they're doing it. You guys were thankful this year. We got 7 new pickup trucks. On last year's council put them forward. So we got 7 brand new pickup trucks with salters and plows.
Okay.
So, and that added to the fleet that we have. We eliminated 2 of the vehicles that we had that were pretty well shot. But so adding them 7 into the fleet of what we already have gives us enough vehicles as far as that goes.
Okay.
So, I mean, do we wish we had more? Sure, wish we had more people. Right now, if I include all people that could drive a truck, the optional drivers that would be, like there's 3 driving positions in forestry that we don't have.
Okay.
So we could put them and we'd have 3 more drivers. But there's only 8 empty positions. So there are different departments besides just drivers. There's other spots that people could fill that would be drivers. That again, in the wintertime, we pull them out of what they're normally doing to jump in a truck if we need to have you jump in a truck. So, we have the drivers. We have the equipment. The equipment's aging and the equipment breaks a lot. Not having enough mechanics is hurtful because, the truck being older, they break. And they got to get fixed.
Yes.
Well, the guys can only do so much. And again, a mechanic, so even a little bit different than a truck driver, they're doing hard physical labor. I mean, there's nothing. I was there the other day. We had a starter blow apart on a dump truck. Starter on our cars, a foot long. This thing's like 2.5 feet long.
Oh, wow.
It weighs about 200 pounds. It's not, that's a job.
Yes.
You almost need someone to hold it up while somebody puts the bolts into it.
Right.
So, it's not like, again, it's not like working on your car. But then again, they have to work on your cars. With DPW, we probably have 8 to 10 SUVs that are just, regular car SUVs that they're always working on. They work on every car for every department up at City Hall, code enforcement, anybody that has a car, the mayor's car, city administrator's car, they're all city vehicles that have to be worked on. So, it's a very, very busy department. Same thing, we separate kind of the parks department from the streets department. The parks department, those mechanics are working on the big riding lawnmowers, regular lawnmowers, snow blowers, weed whackers, hedge trimmers, every possible equipment you could use. For the trades, there's chop saws, there's a lot of different equipment that these people are responsible for keeping up. And again, some of it is aging, and the older something is, the harder it gets to fix. But again, being that I was once in your seat, I understand that the money is not, it's not just sitting there. There's no easy pot of money, and there's no easy way to do what you do. Well, would I love to be able to come to you and say, Ms. Miles, can I have, 5 new dump trucks? I would love to come to you and ask that, and for you to be able to say, absolutely, we'll give you 5 new dump trucks. But I know that's not possible.
Right.
They're $250,000 a piece. Plus, what people don't realize, we order 5 new dump trucks today. I won't see them till next plow season. They take a year to build to get to you. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can go to the car dealership and say, I want a new car and drive home tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This stuff is all had to be ordered. Thankfully, we got a new paver last year, which is huge. But even from when we ordered the paver to when we got the paver, it was months and months and months. So it takes a while.
Right. Okay. So for the paver, is that for like the potholes?
No, the paver's for doing the whole street.
Oh, okay.
The potholes, if we have a big section of potholes, we have a small machine. If you see us paving, the road usually gets ground down. All right, that's called milling. There's a company that comes in when we're doing a whole road. But if we're doing a stretch, like before we paved Porter Road last year by the high school, we would do a stretch. You'll see something that's about 3 foot wide, maybe 4 foot wide.
Yes, I remember that.
That's called a zipper. So what we're doing is we see, 30 foot of potholes. We're going to zipper that whole section out, and then we're going to pave it. And for something like that, we would do the paver.
When can you bring the zipper out with this
Zipper
weather?
can be out at any point in time. The problem is the material to fill the thing.
Okay.
Right now you're using cold patch, and everybody's pretty much under the same impression of cold patch. It's worthless. You fill it in the hole, cars drive over it, the heat from the tires, pull it right back out of the hole. It's a temporary, very temporary fix that you put it in. That's why in the springtime we usually come in with the pothole killer.
Okay.
And again, I have mixed feelings on the pothole killer. Never been a huge fan of the pothole killer. But what it does do is fixes a lot of potholes fast.
Okay.
All right. It's faster than we can go out with a crew and do them. But when I send a crew out to do them, they're going to be done better because they're done with hot patch. They're going to be ground down. They're going to be patched over top. They're going to be rolled over the top. It's nice. Where the pothole killer blows out the hole, it injects that warm tar and stone. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. It's loose stone on top of it. It's like I say, it's a patch, and it works. And it can do a lot more because it's just driving down the street doing it, where we have to stop, we have to clean it up, we have to get everything prepared, then we have to have the hot truck, put the hot down, then we have to roll over the top of it. So it's longer for the workers to do the work, but it's a much better patch. That's why you'll see it. I put it forward last year. The council, I don't think, understood the proposal that we put forward. I'm trying to do 50-50 this year. With the money we get for the pothole killer, let the pothole killer do half, let my workers do half at night, from like 3 to 7. Oh. And I think we'll have better patches. I think we'll have more done that will last a lot longer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's something that, you got to weigh it. It would be, I don't want to say experimental, but let's see who does better. And then we know where to put the money. Yeah, and I honestly believe that the patch that my crew is going to do will be a much stronger, longer-lasting patch. And that's what I'd like to see us do. It will be coming to you guys relatively soon because last year they passed it, but they didn't pass it until May. It's too late.
Too late.
At that point in time, we're already starting to do roads because the same crews that are doing the main whole roads are the same crews that are pothole patching. Okay. We don't have enough workers to do both. So, we need to have that to be done. The hot patch opens up usually sometime in April. Last year it was very early April. Everything's weather dependent. Okay. Hopefully it's open early April again because the sooner we can get out there, the better we can do.
Right.
We'll usually do 20 to 25 main streets a year that will pave completely. Last year, with permission of the mayor, he helped us out an awful lot. We all felt that Porter Road in front of the school and that Niagara Falls Boulevard, I guess it's Pine Avenue over there next to Hyde Park, were in such bad shape that we actually took it out to the city and we did them whole stretches on overtime. We did them whole stretches, cleaned that up, and I think when you drive it this year, even right now in the winter, it made a huge difference because they were just so broken down that we had to do something. We bought an extra tight tar to put it down that packs really tight, and it should last us, I would say, 7 to 10 years. It should be relatively good over there. So that's important. I'm glad that the mayor allows us to have a little bit of leeway when we come to him and say, we got enough time left in the year. Can you find us the money? We'd like to do this. Because it's not cheap. I think doing one of them streets was about $100,000. Wow. But it's worth it. If you've driven them streets, they were bad. They were really bad. And you've patched them and patched them and patched them. But a patch is only so good. Right. The water's still going to get under it. I see we're starting to get a lot of potholes right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But again, it's the freeze-thaw cycle. Water gets underneath, and when it freezes, it pushes it up. Okay. And then when it thaws, you got the pothole. A big thing that you may want to know, Delta Sonic. If you've driven that boulevard, Delta Sonic is terrible. Yeah. The problem is Delta Sonic. The chemicals that come out of Delta Sonic, the salt water and the different chemicals that they use are tearing up the road. New York State is aware of it. Niagara Falls Boulevard is a state road. New York State has worked locally. The local DOT is working with Delta Sonic, and at a few different locations, they're making Delta Sonic repair the road. Okay. They're going to have to put in trench drains so that this stuff doesn't come back out the road. The first lane that's close to their options, they're going to make them do in concrete, which is a lot stronger than blacktop, of course. So that's why you don't see us doing a ton of patching there. In the springtime, when stuff is available to do it, they're going to be doing the patching. Through DOT, through Delta Sonic, they're going to be paying to have that patched. We're well aware of it. I can put cold patch there all day long. It's not going to stay.
Right.
Right. So rather than us wasting the blacktop, the state is making them do that. So this year, hopefully that is addressed. And it's like I say, it's not just here. There's one up the boulevard by the Boulevard Mall. There's one in Transit Road. That it's the same thing at every location. That's how we know that it's them, not us. Okay. You know what I mean? And we're aware of it. What people have to realize, too, is that everybody that works for the city lives in the city.
Yes.
So I drive the same roads you drive. You know what I mean? We hit the same potholes you hit. I have a personal car that I drive. I've had damage to my car just like everybody else has. We do the best we can do.
Yes.
We appreciate when people tell us, there's a pothole here. Can't be everywhere. Can't see everything all the time. You may drive past it every day, so you're seeing, well, this pothole's bad. But if one of my guys doesn't drive down that street, how do we know that there's a pothole? You know what I mean? We usually get tips from residents, from the police, from the fire department, and then again from our own observation. Same thing with trees. I don't know where all the dead trees are in the city. I mean, sometimes you almost get to the point where you don't want to look up and you don't want to look down when you're driving because there's potholes on the ground or there's bad sidewalk to the side and there's bad trees up in the air. I can assure you that our guys are working. They're working hard. They're working diligent to try and get as much done as they can. Again, it's our families that live here. It's us that live here. I'm kind of proud of my city. I love my city.
Yes.
I've done an awful lot with my city to show I love it. Didn't expect this job in my lifetime. I'm glad I'm here. I know I'm doing a good job at what I do. It's something that comes second nature to me from my career path in life. And we're just here to try and make the city better. And again, you know me well enough. The other councilmen pretty much know me well enough that if we can do something to make stuff better, we're going to try and do it. I'll bring a lot of different ideas. I love what we're doing right now in the parks. Hyde Park, we just roofed all the shelters over there. Very important. I think it looks great with everything the same. Painted all the buildings so everything looks the same. Built a new shelter in cooperation with the school board, which is a really cool project.
Yes, wow.
We're going to be building an electronics drop-off shelter in cooperation with the school board, something between the mayor. The mayor's all on board with doing stuff like that with Mark Laurie, and now I guess Mr. Wooten. So this will be interesting to see where it goes.
Yes.
We're putting a new playground in at Black Creek Park, which is out in Love Canal next to the senior center.
Okay.
Out there, we took down almost 70 trees. That place was so treed. There's still a ton of trees there, but it was so treed. The sheltered stuff's all overgrown with ivy and moss and stuff like that. You really couldn't enjoy the park. So we cleared it out. We redid the park. We're putting a brand new playground in there. So out there in the Love Canal area, you're going to have a beautiful park with a beautiful shelter in there that we put some picnic tables. The school board helped us build picnic tables. Put some picnic tables out there. It's going to be a really nice park. Actually, if I had a party with my family, I'd look at that park because it's kind of tucked in out of the way, and it's a nice big park. It's got a nice playground, a lot of grassy space. It's a very nice playground. We have a bunch of parts in to repair a bunch of the playgrounds in the city that we're doing. Vandalism is huge. We get a lot of vandalism.
Wow.
People do not respect what's not theirs. Gill Creek, there's always vandalism. Hyde Park, there's always vandalism. Gluck Park, there's always vandalism. Norlock Park, there's always vandalism.
That's a shame.
I mean, it is a shame because the parks are here for you to enjoy.
Yes.
They're here for an entertainment purpose, and it just takes a couple of bad apples to actually ruin them. My guys that work on the parks, they're pretty proud of the parks. I mean, Gill Creek's a gem. Hyde Park, we all know Hyde Park, but Norlock is a really nice park. There's a little park on North and Gerald. You're amazed at the stuff that people do to these parks. 70th Street, 70th and Girard, there's a park. We've had people melt there that we just have to repair the slide. Someone burned a hole in the bottom of the slide.
Wow.
There's always graffiti out there that you're always constantly doing. The rubber mats that were down on the ground, if you ever walked on them spongy mats, they destroy them. They rip them apart. They rip holes in them and stuff like that. So we've been the repair cost of them is crazy. A small patch like 2x2 is about $5,000.
Wow.
And people don't understand that. They think, oh, look what we're doing. No. So we've been changing it back to a safe mulch. We have to dig that down to about a foot in depth to use the mulch safely. But the mulch, I can do a whole playground for $3,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, again, you have to look at the cost factor and stuff like that. And again, I'm of an age where I grew up, there was no mulch. You landed in a mud puddle or rock hard mud. You know what I mean? That's what, and you went down a stainless steel slide that if it was out in a sunny day, you wanted to get off that slide pretty quick because it was mighty hot.
So just to back up a little bit, Kenny, if a person was interested in employment or filling some of those positions, where would they get that information?
They're listed on the city website.
Okay.
And we also have an HR department in the basement.
Yes.
They have a wall with all available jobs.
Okay.
They're always welcome to go in there and pick something off the wall. Because I don't know if everything's always on the website. Sometimes they may age out a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still doing it, but it was also on Indeed. And there's a lot of jobs. I mean, it's a good job. Some people complain about the wages. The wages aren't always the highest wage, but you get a benefit package.
Okay.
You don't work. You get like 11 holidays a year off. I mean, you get a lot of time off. There's a lot of perks to working for government. The bad part is I don't believe that the pay is super high. but you do get a very nice benefit package that goes along with it.
Okay.
And you get pride in that you're caring for your city.
Yes, yes.
You know, I mean, that's important.
Okay. And I just want to say, during campaigning, about 75% of what I heard was basic services, complaints. And I just want to say I'm so impressed. I appreciate all that you guys do. This is very eye-opening. You do a lot.
As you know, sitting in your shoes, I know the complaints.
Yes.
The complaints have never changed. The complaints probably will never change.
Yes.
What they also have to realize, what people realize, is that services are based on cost. All right? You want more services, you have to give more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that would mean raising taxes.
Right.
And as soon as you say raising taxes, nobody wants to pay more taxes. Again, I pay taxes, you pay taxes, you know, Rich pays taxes, we all pay taxes. And nobody wants to give more. But they don't realize that the costs all the time go up. Gasoline's up, car parts are up, auto parts are up, you know, health insurance is up. Everything goes up. Nothing comes down. So you can't expect the same level of service if you're still only paying this amount of money. But nobody wants a tax. I don't want a tax increase. You know, I'll be one of the first people calling my council people up. Hey, what are you trying to do to us? But services are directly related to funds that are paid in. City is not like a grocery store. I can't say we need a little more money. I'm going to charge $1.20 for this loaf of bread that I charged $1 for. Taxes are set by the government, and that's all you can gather. So we have to do the best we can do. I try and do some innovative things. I think that if you really knew DPW and saw what I've done in the last couple of years, you see there's been a lot of innovative things. Combining departments, working with the school board, working in collaborations to try and get stuff, working with the unions, the outside unions, stuff like that. They helped us so much doing different things. They help us all the time. They help us try and find people in that. Mm-hmm. It's cooperation. It's cooperation with the people, the citizens. Citizens need to take more pride in the city we own. You see a house next to you that the grass is starting to get high, you know nobody lives there. Does it really take that much longer to cut their grass? And then you don't have to call them and say, hey, the grass is 2 feet high next door. You know, can you help out your neighbor a little bit? Can you see something on the street? Can you pick it up? You know, can you just try and help your little area and then expand your little area maybe by a couple of houses.
Yes.
And then if the neighbor up the street expands theirs by a couple of little houses, the cooperation of the citizens will help us an awful lot.
Working together.
It will absolutely will help us an awful lot.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you very much.
This has been very informative. This is kind of gonna quiet a lot of people down, because behind the scenes, the process, what you do, what it takes to get things done is extensive.
Oh, absolutely it is.
So thank you for clarifying. Do you have any closing comments?
I have absolutely nothing. Like I
Okay.
said, take pride in your city. Niagara
Yes.
Falls is a great place. You know, I've invested an entire lifetime here. My family grew up here, had businesses here. Niagara Falls is a very important place to my family and to myself.
Yes.
And I want to see it. I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I'd love to see it, a good part of what it was back then. It was a great place to grow up.
Right. And I think we'll get there.
I do
hope.
too.
Yes.
I do too.
So thank you so much for your time. I'm here to help with the solutions.
Well, I have a shovel.
Okay. I'll put on my boots.
There you
I'm
go.
ready. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.